Well, all right. Let's see what we got going on here. Change some windows around, and we do not want to have any sort of this over here. All right, that'll get that part in play, and the chat we will open over there. Stephen, hello, sir. I have no notes ready for tonight, so bear with me. I was working earlier today doing a side gig and just lost track of time to get shit done for tonight's live chat. However, we do have things to share. Tonight's live chat is brought to you by UW Gear. Hopefully Alpha Charlie Concepts pops into the chat so I can thank him in person, well, not really in person, but you get the idea. Scott Wexler, hello. Javier, hello. So we're totally winging it with my wild bedhead, and I guess you can see how stupid it looks. Adam Hall, hello, sir. I see most of you are over on the YouTubes, not a lot on the Facebooks, the book faces. So Alpha Charlie Concepts sent me this today, and you're like, Gary, that looks like a goober sling, and it is. And every once in a while, I can convince John over there to do some modifying on some slings for me on these slings. He puts a piece of webbing on the padded part. So let me see if I can get a finger in there so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know how well that shows up because I get out of the light. But it is a piece of AOR1 webbing on the AOR1 material. And that allows me to use a sling duber, but not have to use the duber wrap. Because instead, what will happen is I will laser a couple of holes in this webbing that has been sewed on, and then my duber will be put wherever I want and won't have the piece wrapping around it. I just got to put some sling devils on the end, and then it goes on that rifle right there. We'll put some AOR1 on it. So that is tonight's sponsor. Looks like Javier has respiratory infection with conjunctivitis. Isn't that pink eye? Crystal, hello, dear. So we got our sponsor out of the way. We got some news on the classes front. I'll talk about them in a moment because I got to look up the dates because I didn't make any notes. Remember that part from earlier? No notes. But first and foremost, the First Wave Holsters website was supposed to already be live. Scott Wexler up with the big brain knowledge on the med stuff. But because I don't know anything about web stuff and I don't know if it'll actually show up, I think I followed all the instructions for BigCommerce to the domain name was purchased. Technically, it was purchased through Google Domains like 2 years ago or something like that. And Google Domains sold all of its domain stuff to Squarespace. So the website is on BigCommerce. The domain name is on Squarespace. And so far, that's been a day of nothing. But we'll try and figure that out. But shortly, I have pictures to take, and the Trema Signature holsters will be over there, as well as the entire shade line. So that's the shade I inside the waistband. Comes in 2 versions, mono block or soft loops. Soft loops are the way to go, unless you don't wear a belt. And then the mono block is better, but the mono block is not as robust as soft loops. It is the most robust clip on the market, though. Well, DCC clips are the most robust. Mono block is just a type of DCC clip. The So the shade A, the shade I, or that's the shade I. The shade A is the appendix inside the waistband, DCC clip and a mod wing. And the shade O, which is a lot like the instructor holster, those will all be on there, including mag pouches and shit. But the 2 holsters from the agency series will be up shortly. The meat curtain and the Pantac will be up. And then over in the specialty, there's going to be the Butch and the Shield Maiden, which are similar. They do similar things, but get there in different routes. Scott says the monoblock is the bestest. The folks over there at DCC will tell you it is not as good as their mod blank clips, mostly because the design of the holster could leave a monoblock without a whole lot of grip strength, because the shape of the outside of the holster is dependent on how tight it is, and the mod 1, 2, 3, 4s. I don't know how many mods they have. I like the mod 4 shorty. That they determine how tight it grips, but the monoblock could potentially grip tighter, but it could also potentially grip looser. But regardless, those are on the way. Zach, hello, sir. Good to see you here as well. So that's that update on the what's coming in the first wave front. Since I'm the web guy, if it is not up by tomorrow, I will start trying to figure out why it is not up. The placeholder website is down, so I don't know how long it's supposed to take for the new website to be live. Over on the class front, we have new stuff on the calendar. Not new stuff, old stuff. We have a 7-day shotgun class. No, I'm just kidding. There's no shotgun class. Not a 1-day, 2-day, or anything up to 7-day. But got your attention. We have, and I think I mentioned this part last week, that we added the vehicle class. Let me go over to my calendar so that I can get some dates, because I think that is the first thing that we've added. A vehicle dynamics is the 19th and 20th of October here in Mount Carmel. And then we have a day 3 vehicle on the 26th, which is the following Saturday. And that Saturday night, we have a low light vehicle workshop. So we added those. That's pretty exciting stuff. Scott Wexler says, who is the go-to for hiking chest rig carry stuff? That would be the Hill People Gear kit bag. I have the Snubby kit bag. I think it's the Runners, maybe. Runners Snubby. It doesn't have Molly, and it's the smallest one. And then I have the medium one that does have Molly. I guess it's the bigger one, but it's not the deep one. I think they have either 2 or 3 footprints and 2 thicknesses. I have the smallest thin one and the medium thin one with Molly on the outside. Love them both. Use them for different stuff. So anyhow, back to the calendar with the vehicle stuff in October. In November, we have added day 3 or dynamic pistol, only dynamic pistol of the year, and day 3 pistol. We're going to smash those 3 days into 2 long days on a Thursday and Friday. If you just want to take day 3 pistol, you can sign up for that and just come on Friday. Then we have Smash Mouth pistol on Saturday and a low light pistol workshop on Saturday night. So 3 days long, 4 classes, smashing 5 training days into those 3. Going to be some long days. Should be good. So that is Paducah, Texas in November 7th, 8th, and 9th. 2 classes on the 9th. You see how I did that. But then the newest thing that we have added is the what am I calling it? The winter fishing trip, fishing tour. We'll call that maybe. So on October 5th, Saturday in Scranton, PA, we are doing Fish One, which is it's from 10 in the morning until 8 o'clock at night. So a 10-hour day of solo fighting inside a structure. Then over on November 16th is Fish 2, another Saturday, same place in Scranton, PA at Roll Call. That will be 10 hours of working with a partner, a swim buddy, as I like to call it. Then December 14th, also a Saturday, also at Roll Call in Scranton, we are doing Fish 3, which is low light fishing, night fishing, I think is what we jokingly called it. But it'll be white lights. Then January 11th, this is 111. This is the one that should be the most surprising. Fish 4, that is all force on force. There is no force on paper or force on target, as some people call it. It will be 100% UTM against a resisting opponent. Students will be the good guys and the bad guys. Essentially, there's no good guys and bad guys, but you will square off against other students. We have procured, without UTM's knowledge, a substantial supply of UTM rounds. Neener. UTM is selling them. They just don't know it's me that's getting them. All right. So yes, Fish 4. Then February 8th is Fish 6, which is also in the dark. That will be nods, all nods in the shoot house, same place, Roll Call in Scranton. And then we have a fish workshop on the 15th of March. So one Saturday a month for 5 months in a row, we are going to do a good 10-hour day of working inside a structure. So we got that going on. That's new info. All right. All right, Crystal added the link. Perfect. Will Crutcher, hello, sir. Mark Box is hanging around, not out like upholding the law and serving the public and stuff. Instead, he's playing around on Facebook. I see some interest in the fishing. I'm probably going to do a fish package where you can sign up for all the fishes. Now, notice Fish 5 isn't listed because Fish 5 is live fire. We set up a door and a wall, and we do a fair amount of room entries on the range with open and closed doorways. So that isn't at the shoot house, and I don't want to do it in the winter when it's cold. We can go inside to the shoot house where the weather is nice. Adam says he needs them other fish classes. Well, I know where they're being held at. Right here. I know they're not like back to back, so like coming up for a whole weekend, not really the ticket because they're one Saturday a month. But the good news is with the hours of the shoot house, and most all shoot houses, Sunday hours seem to be less than the rest of the week. So if we do it on Saturdays, I get 10-hour days. Sundays, they're open 10 to 5, so I get 7-hour days. I would much rather work with 10-hour days. Makes it for a longer day for me, but makes for a better day for you guys. So that is the ticket on what's going on there. And to dig out the calendar. Back to back. Adam would be up for that trip. Yep. I wish all of them were back to back. Well, maybe not Fish 5. Maybe do that when like separate, and back to back, just out of order, I would say, because the live fire would have to be a whole big move to a different facility, and it would be easier to just stay in the shoot house day after day. If I ever acquire my own shoot house that isn't an hour and a half away from my house, I will certainly do a fishing week and run 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 back to back to back to back to back. However many back to backs that are. We actually have another one in the works too. One is pistol only. I guess that'll be Fish 7 when it comes out. And it looks like Dry Fire Mag is this close to releasing their 365 mag. They have a production unit in hand testing it. So not like a prototype. It is one that is as it would come off of the assembly line. So they are close to releasing, I would think, since they're testing at least one that came off the normal assembly line. Once that 365 mag is available as the Smart Dry Fire, that's a Dry Fire mag and a laser. And the Dry Fire mag tells the laser when to shoot. We will be able to run SIGs in a class, and I would wager that I have just as many 365s in class as I do all of the other brands combined. So my plan is to put a big opening order in with those guys, get some magazines to put in some macros, at least one G48 magazine with the Smart Mag, and some G19 mags as well. The only downside is I can't put them in my UTM guns because it's a 9mm laser round, and the UTM gun doesn't take a 9mm round, it takes a UTM round. And my UTM guns don't have Glock top ends like they have UTM top ends. But I could probably drum up a few Glock loaners for folks that don't have them. And then we'll be able to do some fishing with just pistols. And we'll also be able to do in like some of the workshops transitions to pistols, because we can do it if we're doing force on paper. We can have Blackbeards and Smart Dry Fires. And if we do force on force, we can run UTM and UTM. So we can work that out as well. So Aiden says he's not sure, but Eric's is making sims called the MTX. It may be a good replacement for UTM. Head down. I don't know anything about it, but if it requires me to invest in hardware, not going to happen. I already bought $10,000 worth of UTM hardware. I will never buy sim-based hardware again. I'm not going to spend any money on a proprietary hardware when the soft goods that go in the hardware can just like that be pulled away from me. So like I don't need to run force on force classes that bad. Colt Manny, hello, sir. But now if this MTX stuff will go inside a UTM gun, awesome. But just like if right now Simunition said we'll start selling to civilians, which they've never been interested in doing, I still wouldn't buy 10 bolt carriers and half a dozen pistols. That's just, it's a ridiculous amount of investment to be told, thanks for your money, but no thanks. Jay Gibson is in the house. Hello, sir. Jay will be up here about 2 months. But yeah, there's the take on the fish classes we got coming up. Fish 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and a workshop, and possibly a 7 we're going to add in there. I might end up doing 7 where the workshop is and moving the workshop to the month later once I have the Smart Dry Fire mags in hand. The good news is, for folks that were wondering, we have kind of phased the UTM portion, which is the final exercise of Fish 1, kind of phased it out and ran the final exercise just with Blackbeards and lasers because of the limited amount of force on force ammo I own. That is back on the menu. And the final exercise on Fish 2, which is against the resisting opponent, is also back on the menu. Again, like I said, a substantial amount of UTM ammo is inbound. I still have a good chunk of pistol UTM ammo, which we're going to use during the Science of Dynamic Violence, which is a joint class between Sonny Pazikas and I, coming up the week before the muster. So that will be pretty cool as well. Emails to instructor types that want to come up for the muster or are coming up for the muster will go out this week. And we'll start hashing out what we want to do and who needs range and who needs classroom and all that stuff. If any of you out there are friends with Jerry Nuss, you should tell him that he is desperately wanted at the muster, and we miss him because I haven't seen him since the last muster. Strangely enough, Mike Fiore, Bulletin.net, adjunct instructor, Travis Dynamics, was in Florida vacationing and ran into Jerry in the airport, and was also working on getting him to come up here. So that needs to happen. So Pester Jerry, will add him to the roster as well. Speaking of Mike, an adjunct instructor, FERPA instructor. I can't remember it was an acronym, FIRPA, FERPA. P was Padawan, A was adjunct. I don't remember what any of the other initials meant. But anyhow, Mike and I taught navigation dynamics last week. We had 9 people in class, 7 people passed the class, and got a certificate. Did you guys know we were doing that again? Andrew is here as well. Awesome, Andrew. If you see Jerry, pester him to come to the muster, and also give him a big hug from me. If it's from me, you'll have to squat a little lower so that, to represent me giving him a hug. And I normally hug him from behind, so make that happen. So we did the navigation dynamics class. Like I said, 7 of 9 people completed the class, got a certificate. We do certificates. This. Did you know we started doing those this year? Yep. Certificates. This is Benjamin's because he completed the class. He was the only alumni repeat. Wait a minute. Maybe he wasn't the only one. But he was one of the alumni who took it again. And we started doing certificates. We email those out so you can print them if you want. We do not do them for workshops. We do them for actual classes. So fish classes, Gary Marr Master Class, dynamic carbines with the day 3 carbine as well. Navigation dynamics, we've done them for. So those are coming as well. Pretty cool. Speaking of Andrew, who is here in the chat with us, we video chatted today. I don't like video chatting, but Andrew does, so I make an allotment for him. We talked about cool stuff. Andrew says, "What's the master class?" So the master class is it's a 2-fold class. I'm pimping out. I don't even have one on the schedule, nor do I intend to put one on the schedule until I can find a range that I can shoot until at least midnight on. It's pistol and carbine. We warm up the day with ways to make your personal practice sessions more difficult, whether they're alone or with a partner, to make them more challenging to you. And then we take a short food break there later in the day, and then we start working on drills instead of how to survive a fight, it is how to press the fight onto the enemy. So it is a more offensive mindset with getting reps on more offensive drills. I guess that's the best way to put that. Instead of how can my teammate and I survive the longest and drag this fight out for hours and hours without dying? It is, how can my teammate and I finish this fight sooner so that we don't have to fight for 2 hours just surviving? But requires me to have a range we can shoot in the dark. So it's like a 1 day Saturday class because we'll shoot like just to get a little later start in the morning. Instead of 8:30, we start at like 10 o'clock, and then we run till like midnight. So there's that. That's a cool class, and you get a challenge coin for completing that class, which is also pretty cool. Like it's only you can earn a challenge coin. You only get a challenge coin through merit. It can either be something you've done to help my business of Tremis Dynamics, or by completing the master class. So that's the master class. Anyhow, Andrew got me sidetracked. We were talking about Andrew, and we video chatted, and I saw video, handheld video, like in the video, like here's my thing, look at my thing, of the prototype of the Primaris plate carrier. Yep, that's right. I got peoples in Florida's sewing up custom things for me. The sling from John, well, the modification to a sling from John, and the entire plate carrier from Andrew. So looking forward to that. It looks perfect, exactly how I drew it up. It fits size small shooter cut plates, polyethylenes. That's what it was designed around. The way he made the flap to hold it, it might also fit size small sappy plates. I will check that. They're a little different dimension than shooter cuts. Hopefully we can convince Andrew to make something similar like that for what are they, size large shooter cuts or a medium sappy cut. They're both 10 by 12 ish. That would be probably a more popular size for most people on a most excellent design that I drew up and Andrew sewed up. Andrew says making the plate carrier broke his mind a few times. It's not like I made it overly complex. In fact, I simplified it more than most other plate carriers and only made it complex where I needed it to be complex. It's almost a slick plate carrier with just enough add-on shit to fit what I need. And that's pretty much the ability to stick a placard on the front, like take it off a chest rig, throw it on the front, and a small, thin utility pouch on the small of the back. And the reason I do that, a lot of folks who we've seen in class and we get gear talks I've showed it to. My plate carriers, I run flexible antennas on for my 2 radios. So they're like weaved up through the molly and shit. And then the antennas are at the top of the back of my plate carrier. So when I have a chest rig, I just have like blade style antennas, like sticking up like fucking antennae. Well, I guess they are antennae out of the radio pouches. But if I put on the chest rig, since it has remote antennas, I take the blade antenna off and I need somewhere to put it. So I fold it, put a piece of Velcro one wrap around it, and I can drop it in that little plate pouch on the back of my plate carrier because I don't need to get to it till I take the plate carrier off and I want to go back to the chest rig. The other thing that I do is the H harness for the chest rig. When I take that off the placard, I can fold that up and put it back there as well. So now I'm wearing a plate carrier with my same front and radios attached to it. If I end up somewhere, not say back at my house or at my truck, and I want to switch to a chest rig, I have the parts to turn it back to a chest rig with me on the plate carrier. So then when I take the plate carrier, I take the placard off, I take the plate carrier off, I open up the pouch in the plate carrier, put the antennas back on the radios, put the H harness on it, and now I've got a chest rig and can set my plate carrier aside. So that's why I keep that pouch on there, and I need just enough MOLLE to hold that pouch. But the rest of it isn't all covered MOLLE. There's no MOLLE on the cummerbund because it's going to have a placard over top, and that wraps around as far as I need it to. So that's the whole idea behind it. So Andrew says, if we have enough people interested, we could do a short run of the plate carriers. I know Fiore absolutely is ready for one that fits 10 by 12 plates. I'm positive. And again, that would be the size most asked for, I believe. Of course, since you've already prototyped it out for a small, you can do a small and a large, which in the SAPI world would be a small and a medium, but that covers most of the world. Will says MOLLE on the cummerbund kills him. I've tried. So the only one that I liked it on was the Cry structural plate carrier, because the cummerbund it has like a layer of Tegris with like webbing sewn on top of it. So it's like 2 layers. And then it's rigid, so it bends, but it doesn't twist or much. It doesn't collapse. And it's got in between, it's laser cut with the big square in it. So every one of those uprights is also rigid because it's like one piece of Tegris. So it's not as floppy and shit, and it makes it almost like a piece of webbing for how big it is. And when I was running just a plate carrier, it gave me the ability to keep putting gear a little further around, because when you're as fat as I am, you get a little more circumference to mount things. So I appreciated that. But since I started running the Goober's chest rig, and it is ever expandable, you can keep adding I and W beams, I beams and W beams. I think that's what it is. You can keep making that go all the way around till they touch on a plate carrier. Running a placard over top of a chest rig means the chest rig can just have slick, like 1.5, 2 inch, 1.75 inch, whatever webbing as the cummerbund to hold the front to the back. And what we did was at the ass end of it, we have the two like the front Velcros, and then the back has loops at the end, and it shock cords like a figure 8. So you have some, when you're doing the deep breaths, the plate carrier cummerbund will move some with you and still pull tight when you're the most smallest. So it should be relatively nice. It was based kind of around my old, I have a AR500, I think it called the micro plate carrier that Shellback made for them a long time ago. They haven't sold it in a while. But it had like plastic Cobra buckles on the shoulder straps and the cummerbund, and I had swapped those out for tubes. And I took some of the MOLLE field on the chest and put like a thing on it to hold a Velcro patch, because all I needed was a piece of Velcro on the front. And then like there's MOLLE to the sides, but it didn't have anything to attach swift clips to. So I had to get a thing from, I can't remember what it's called, but Downrange Gear makes it. And it's a swift clip with a sewed piece behind it that you can slide behind MOLLE and put the swift clips on regular MOLLE. What we had Andrew do is just run 2 vertical strips and then sew it so you can put the swift clips on whatever height you want, instead of having to like add adapters onto another carrier. And then the downside was the carrier I was adding adapters to, they don't make anymore, so it's not like I could get another one. But the Primaris plate carrier will be cool. There's air mesh on the back, and yeah, pretty neat shit. All right, good on that. Oh man, it's 8:42 already. Holy shit! I don't think anybody posted any questions over on the Facebook page, so that's fortuitous. I don't really have any questions anywhere else that I was asked either, uh, other than somebody asked earlier. Oh, what the hell was it? I think I answered it. Uh, oh, it was about the Hill People gear uh, bags. So, yep, that's the updates on all that stuff. There's a lot of gear talk. Uh, if we're gonna, as long as we're talking gear updates, I've been using the prototype of the Tremis Dynamics hand job, uh, which is a forward grip device thing. Uh, it is the perfect dimensions, and I guess now, once the first wave website is done, it seems like the next thing will be is to push that into a more production status. Uh, wow, I had two good questions. One, did I see that Clint Smith is coming up my way, or at least Thunder Ranch is? No, I did not. Like Pennsylvania way, that'd be awesome. Uh, I'll have to take a gander at that. I did not plan on. When is that? Next year, 2025. I had not planned my 2024 schedule. Like I have two more classes I want to do as a student, and one of those is patrolling the homestead with combat art training and praelectus training, and NVG or NV or NOD shoot house with Green Line. Those are the two classes I have on my agenda for the rest of this year. So, but Thunder Ranch being close, that would be nice. Not having to buy lead-free ammo would also be nice. Uh, I mean, just buy a bunch of Defiant TCX to do a pistol class with. It just seems a little excessive, since it'd be like $1,600 in ammo. Steven said he liked handling the hand job. It is pretty stellar. Looks kind of goofy, I think. Some people think. But Andrew's got a great question, like an actual training question, one that you kind of can sink your teeth into. When you were learning to shoot Stoneborough, P, I don't know where the fuck that is. Oh, and Rob Latham, best fucking pistol shooter to ever walk to Earth. That's interesting. I got to look into that. So Andrew says, when I was learning to shoot initially, when did I feel like I was getting really good? Like, what results were you getting? Okay, so initially, very first time I ever went shooting a pistol, I was shooting. I mean, I shot a couple of pistols when I was a kid. I don't remember much about it. In my family, rifles were popular, and I always felt like I was a pretty decent rifle shot as a youth. When I started shooting pistols a bunch, I was in the Navy, and so I had probably fired under 200 rounds ever through a pistol when I took my pistol qualification in the Navy and got expert, which is the highest that you can get. So I already thought I was pretty good when I wasn't, but I didn't realize that the Navy standards were like the rest of the military standards and quite low. I started shooting in the 90s, later in the 90s, more often. Like once I owned my own pistol, made it a lot easier to do that when you're like 21 and they let you buy one. And when I went shooting with my buddies, I was shooting better than them and already thought I was pretty good. But then when I would shoot with other people, I would go right back to, oh, I'm terrible at this and I need to get better. And I would read all the gun magazines, and it was mostly the one like American Handgunner and Gun Games, and like those ones that had a lot of the USPSA shooters in them. And I would read what they said about shooting, and then I would try to apply that the best I could. There was a lot of trial and error, like trying to do what they wrote about, because I didn't have like someone watching me. And then late 90s, I started shooting IDPA. I mean, it was early 2000s. I don't remember when. Because I had some friends that I played paintball with that used to shoot IDPA, so they took me with them. And then there was some IDPA shooters who I would get coached from. And then we would go to the range and shoot IDPA style practice. And those guys, those master class guys, would help me get better. And I would think I was terrible. And then when I wasn't shooting with them, I thought I was pretty good because I was so much better than my friends. And that was the results were all they were. It was such a fluid scale because I was just comparing to how I was doing with somebody else. I wasn't using like metrics as far as this level of accuracy at this amount of time, like standards. Um, did some standards like that we would practice, but I couldn't tell you what the results were. You know, like what my bill drill was, or an L pres or a vice pres, and uh, I don't remember. Uh, and I shot the IDPA classifier was like the first or second IDPA match I shot, and you know I was like marksman like everybody else. I assume marksman, or everybody gets marksman, and that was in like ESP and CDP, so that's enhanced service pistol and custom defensive pistol. And I was like, okay, so I'm like a newbie and I don't know shit. Uh, and in all the local matches, I would win. Uh, Sometimes, like I would have the best score in enhanced service pistol, no matter what, you know, like ranking or classification against the, is it marksman, sharpshooter, expert, master. So we didn't have a lot of master classes at the club I shot at a lot. Like rarely did we have one, but often I'd beat the experts and the sharpshooters. So I was like, all right, well maybe I am pretty good. But again, it was comparing it to other people. Um, and then when I got my uh, when I went up in rankings from like marksman to sharpshooter to expert, those were all done at matches, like at regional, national, state level matches, where if you score a certain amount, you get bumped. So I again, like those results told me, oh, I must not suck at this. And then I finally went and shot the classifier again to see where I stood on it and got master class and everything I shot it in. So that told me, hey, I must be doing pretty good. That was like the first time I shot a standard that said, you know, your time and your accuracy says you don't suck. However, I went and took my first fighting pistol class in 06 maybe, and it was I was like, man, I suck at this. I shot better than most of the dudes in the class, but then I felt like I was doing terrible at it. But back to I was comparing it on the sliding scale of other shooters. Uh, to this day, I think I'm marginally okay at shooting a pistol, and the only time I think better than that is when I'm comparing it to other people. But comparing it to what I think I should be doing, I still don't think I'm pretty good. So, hope that answered your question, Andrew, in the longest, most roundabout way of when I thought I was good and how I got those results. Oh, Adam has sent me the email for the Thunder Ranch information. So awesome. Thank you, sir. Figures I missed it. I was only spending all freaking day in front of a computer. Of course, I also did not once really get on the internet with said computer. I just worked on trying to finish building a fucking website, which I'm no web guy, obviously, because the website isn't live yet. Handgun, shotgun, fucking shotgun. No. October 17, 18. Oh, that's 2025. What the fuck? Ooh, 17, 18. Ooh, that might be tough. I have a class on the 19th and the 20th. fuck, 17, 18. I'm going to be on my way back from Del Rio. I won't get home till the 17th. I don't think I can fucking make it. Damn it. That blows. Well, unless something maneuvers around. We'll have to see how that works out. All right, back over here in my chat. Shotgun it is, then, he says. I can't cancel my vehicle class. So there's the thing. So, like, I'll think, man, I'm shooting pretty okay. And then I go shoot, and, like, TJ's there and shoots better than me. And I go, well, maybe I can't fucking shoot. Lemonade's empty. Time's running out. Also, if anybody out there is using any first wave holsters of any type, if you could stick a gun in it, take a picture of it, make it look as not stupid as possible, I would love to have some extra photos to put on the First Wave website when it goes live someday. I don't know when that someday is going to be, but I will absolutely take your pictures if you want to send some along to be included in them. Yep, website's still not live. Oh, that does remind me of something else. In case you all are watching, I'll put a link down here. I should have done it in the beginning of the chat. I just put a link up for some local business voting here in Bloomsburg for best whatevers, best food, best cheesesteaks, best pizza, best dry cleaner, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The newspaper does it every year. I think every year. Travis Dynamics has been nominated for Best Martial Arts School and for Best Sports Academy. If you all could be so kind, Will Crutcher, email would be better. It helps me find them later and puts it on my computer instead of on my phone. But I'll take it on text and get it over there myself if that's the only way you'll do it. So anyhow, I put a link up for the voting. If you could kindly give a vote, you could be a super stud and vote once a day, every day, all month from every email address you have. That's a lot to ask. If I could get a vote, that would be most awesome, and I would be happy with that. I, of course, am voting every day in both categories from my personal and my work email. So I'm trying to stack the odds in my favor. I don't know why. I think you get a plaque when it's all done if you're the voted the best or whatever. Don't really know if that's worth any effort, but I figure since I have a reach, I might as well reach and ask if you all will give a fella a hookup. Steven says he'll send some of the 365 Trempendix Alpha. I don't even remember you ordering one of those. Do I? I mean, it's possible that I don't remember, but I think if I go over to the website and look to see how many awaiting fulfillment orders I have. I don't normally do that on this computer. And of course it says, we're not going to let you log in without a fucking 2-factor authentication. Bullshit. Orders. Awaiting fulfillment. Yeah, I see one there from your home slice. Did we do something in person? Because if so, I don't remember that. And I don't have the spreadsheet on this computer to look at when I put it on a spreadsheet, I can only look at my big commerce fulfillment, awaiting fulfillment orders. Oh, Jim Tackett is in the house. Popped in for a moment right before the live chat has ended. I know I do this terrible. He works in the evenings during the week in the central time zone, and of course, the 1 hour of his job that he actually gets away from his desk, like wakes up from his nap and does some work. It's the hour of the live chat. Uh, and we're just minutes from wrapping up. So yeah, if you guys could throw out a vote, that'd be awesome. If not, that's fine too. If you could send me pictures of any of the first wave holsters in action or stylized, that would be cool. Uh, oh yeah, you did say Alpha. I was thinking Omega. Sorry, my bad, Steven. Uh, I saw Alpha. Mine said Omega, and then said I don't think I have an order from you for that. Uh, but yeah, anybody with any of them, like you don't have to take a picture of an appendix holster like in your crotch. Although if you do, you should stuff the crotch so it at least looks like you're well endowed. But yeah, any cool photos you got, like I'll take them and throw them on the website. That would be cool. It doesn't matter if it's a Tremis signature model or the few folks out there that watch this that have some of the Shade series, which are more standard holsters. I mean, that's what it stands for, standard holster design, SHD, Shade. Uh, but you get the idea. If you got one, I'll take it. It'd be awesome. And so yeah, that's what I got for the evening. The hour is up. Uh, my wife is on vacation, so I think I'm gonna go spend some time with her and watch some Battlestar Galactica or something. Yes, Will, you should take a picture of the cool one because that's cool. So I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a wonderful evening. Next week, we'll have a functioning first wave website that we can talk about, and maybe do a giveaway. You've all convinced me, and by convinced me, you did nothing. I just thought the word giveaway. We'll celebrate the website being up, and we'll do we'll do something. I don't know what. I'll come up with an idea. But in the meantime, you all take it easy, and I will see you in a week. For those of you that are coming to the Night Vision workshop this weekend, I'll see you Saturday. Everybody else, I'll see you on Wednesday. So with that, take it easy out there, and I'll see